They told you to be kind, to smile, to forgive, to bend when it's easier to break. They said kindness would open doors, soften hearts, and build bridges where walls once stood. But they never warned you that in a world ruled by struggle, kindness can be a liability, a glowing beacon for those waiting to exploit your softness. Being nice isn't a badge of honor here. It's a target painted across your back. A signal that says, "I won't fight." That signal invites every manipulator, every silent predator, every opportunist lurking in the shadows to circle in, because kindness without armor is weakness, and weakness, in this world, is not tolerated, it's devoured. Forget the myths about goodness. The world is neither just nor fair. It's brutal, it's raw. People move not by ideals but by desire, by hunger, by the cold calculus of self-interest. To expect kindness to shield you is to build a fortress of glass in a storm. Those who survive, those who rise, do so by mastering the art of control, not by asking for it, but by taking it. They understand the rules no one talks about, that respect is earned through strength, that power respects only power, and that mercy without boundaries invites chaos. You've been told that turning the other cheek is noble. But what they left out is this: the cheek turned too often becomes a doorstep for boots to trample on. The nice don't just finish, last they get swallowed whole. The first lesson is simple: see the world as it is, not as it should be, but as it is, unforgiving, indifferent, harsh. Hope for kindness, and you'll be crushed beneath cruelty. Expect fairness, and you'll be consumed by exploitation. Those who command the room do not ask for approval. They do not explain themselves or apologize for who they are. They move with a quiet certainty, a presence that demands acknowledgement, not permission. The world does not reward your generosity with gratitude. It often responds with contempt or indifference, but it does respect boundaries. It fears consequences. It answers to strength. To survive, to thrive, to truly be respected, you must learn when to wear your kindness like armor, controlled, deliberate, strategic. But more importantly, you must know when to strip it away and reveal the steel beneath. Because softness is a luxury the powerful cannot afford. Nice guys live in a fantasy that if they give enough, if they're agreeable enough, if they're patient enough, the world will reward them with love and respect. But the world doesn't keep score that way. It forgets favors, ignores sacrifices, and steps over those who won't stand their ground. Strength doesn't mean cruelty. It means clarity. It means knowing your worth and defending it without hesitation. It means setting lines in the sand and walking away when those lines are crossed, without drama, without apology, with cold finality. You are not here to be everyone's comfort. You are here to be your own priority. And if that makes others uncomfortable, so be it. Your peace, your time, your energy, these are your treasures. Guard them fiercely. Respect is never given, it is commanded, not by words, but by action. Not by pleading, but by presence. Those who bend too far lose their shape. They become reflections of others' desires, mirrors without purpose. When you become predictable, when your yes is too easy, when your boundaries crumble under pressure, you become irrelevant. No longer a man, but a tool, used, discarded, forgotten. Those who lead do not seek love, they seek control. They build fortresses, not bridges. They create order, not chaos. And they understand that fear, when wielded correctly, is more reliable than affection. Fear is consistent. It enforces boundaries that no one dares to cross. It protects what matters. It ensures survival. If you want to escape the trap of being too nice, you must stop chasing validation. Stop begging for acceptance. Stop over-explaining your choices and softening your words to avoid conflict. You owe no one comfort at the expense of your own dignity. If your truth disrupts, if your boundaries offend, if your decisions unsettle, hold firm. Those who matter will respect your strength. The rest were never yours to keep. True power is silent. It doesn't demand applause or approval. It moves like a shadow, unseen until it strikes, controlled, precise, inevitable. Nice guys love to explain, to justify, to plead understanding. But every explanation is a crack in your armor, an invitation to attack. When you explain, you expose your doubts, your insecurities, your need for approval. Power acts, it doesn't apologize. It commands, it doesn't negotiate. When you say no, Say it once, say it firmly, and say no more. Silence is your shield. Mystery is your armor. When others cannot read you, when your next move is unknown, when your intentions are hidden, you become untouchable. People fear what they cannot control. Be that enigma. Let your silence sow respect. Let your unpredictability command attention. Nice guys overshare. They reveal their wounds, their pain, their struggles, believing vulnerability will earn sympathy. But unguarded vulnerability invites predators. It's exposure, not bravery. People may smile as you confess, but many are calculating how to turn that information against you. The strongest don't show all their cards. They speak little, act decisively, and keep their inner world locked tight. If you want to be respected, stop narrating your life. Stop explaining your moves. Let others wonder why you disappear, why you stay silent, why you never give them a clear picture. Because once they believe they know you, they believe they can control you, and control is your enemy. In life, the man who talks too much gives away his strategy. The man who explains too much reveals his weakness. Do not be that man. Speak when necessary, but never justify what doesn't need justification. Become the man whose presence demands respect without explanation, whose silence speaks louder than any apology. Nice guys believe in second chances. They believe people will change if only they show enough mercy. But mercy without strength is surrender. If someone crosses your line, and there is no cost, they will cross it again. And again, and again. You must be willing to enforce consequences swift, firm, unemotional, not out of cruelty but out of strategy. Remove access, withdraw your energy, let absence speak louder than words. People don't remember your promises, they remember what you take away. The pain of loss reshapes behavior in a way words never can. Nice guys hesitate at confrontation. They flinch from punishment. They tolerate disrespect, hoping it will stop on its own. But it never does. Silence in the face of disrespect is permission. Inaction is permission. And nice guys are handing out permission slips every day. You owe no one endless chances. You owe no one explanations. You owe yourself peace. If someone threatens that peace, act with calm ruthlessness. Punish with precision. Walk away without looking back. That is how power is asserted. Not through anger, not through drama, but through decisive action. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to lose control. You need to act firmly, coldly, inevitably. The true measure of strength is emotional restraint, the ability to punish without hatred, to sever ties without regret. That is fear, that is control, and that is respect. Nice guys get emotional, they cry, they over-explain, they second. Guess, but the strong are surgical. They punish to regain power, not to vent pain. Then they leave the silence to do its work, because those who are punished without emotion are never crossed again. You don't beg for respect, you take it. You don't explain your decisions, you enforce them. You don't wait for approval, you command it. In a world ruled by emotions, the man who is detached becomes unstoppable. Nice guys are addicts to approval. Their every word is filtered through the question, will they still like me? But approval is a drug that enslaves. Detachment frees. Detachment is clarity, the cold understanding that loyalty is conditional, that people are self-serving, and that alliances are temporary. Why waste your soul on approval that shifts with the wind? Detachment is not numbness, it is awareness, it is focus, it is seeing the game but refusing to be played, it is hearing the lies but not being fooled, it is knowing the truth and moving forward regardless. Love is a fragile thing, but fear when wielded well is lasting. Detachment teaches you to value your peace above your image. It teaches you to stop explaining, stop chasing, stop pleading. It teaches you to keep moving forward even when misunderstood. Because the untouchable man does not seek clarity, he creates it. He does not seek love, he demands respect. He does not drown in betrayal, he swims in truth. People fear what they cannot control. When you detach, you become unbreakable. You no longer need their affection, their loyalty, or their approval. You only need yourself. Be kind, yes, but never dependent. Be generous, yes, but never desperate. Walk into every room with the mindset, I need nothing from anyone here. That is power. That is freedom. That is the way forward. To stop being so emotionally available to a world that will devour you if you let it. To stop being the pawn and become the player. To stop being the prey and become the predator. If these words resonate, if you are ready to move from weakness to strength, from naivety to strategy, then this is your beginning. Like this message, subscribe, stay sharp, move with purpose, because the world doesn't need more nice guys. It needs more men who see the truth, more men who command respect, more men who understand that silence is power, detachment is freedom, and control is everything. The moment you decide to stop being a victim to your own emotions is the moment you begin to rewrite the rules. Most people live as slaves to their feelings, chasing highs, avoiding lows, desperate to be liked, to be understood, to be loved. But those who rise above, those who carve their path in this chaotic world, understand that emotions are tools, not masters. To control others, you must first master yourself. That begins with control over your emotional landscape, with the cold discipline to feel without being overwhelmed. Emotional mastery is not about suppression, it is about command. It is the ability to acknowledge pain, fear, and anger without letting them dictate your actions. Those who succumb to their feelings become predictable, reactive, weak. Power requires stillness amidst the storm, clarity when chaos surrounds you. The strong do not rage, they calculate. They do not plead, they dictate. They do not fall apart. They rebuild quietly, relentlessly. This mastery reveals an uncomfortable truth. Most people are enslaved by their desire for connection. They sacrifice their boundaries, their integrity, their sanity to be accepted. But acceptance is a fleeting currency, dependent on others who are no more stable than you. The wise man seeks not acceptance, he seeks sovereignty. Sovereignty over his mind, his body, his environment. When you own yourself, no one can control you. This is not to say that kindness and generosity have no place, but these virtues must be wielded as tools of influence, not chains that bind. Generosity given with expectation is manipulation. Generosity given without strategy is foolishness. True generosity flows from strength. It is a choice, never a necessity. And when it ceases to serve your power, generosity must be withdrawn without hesitation. Look around you. The world is filled with those who give endlessly, hoping love will find them in return. But love is never owed, it is earned, and earned love respects strength. Love that comes from weakness is a liability. It invites disrespect, neglect, and betrayal. The wise man loves himself first, fiercely, completely. Only then can he extend love without sacrificing his essence. Understanding the dynamics of power means recognizing the currencies in which it is traded. Approval, affection, loyalty, these are all currencies but unstable and often counterfeit. Fear is the one currency with lasting value. Fear demands attention, enforces boundaries, ensures compliance. Not blind terror, but calculated respect born from consequence. Those who cultivate this fear walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that their word is law. You might recoil at this idea, fear as a tool. Is it cruel? Perhaps, but power has never been kind. It has never waited for permission. The natural world teaches us this brutally. The lion does not ask the gazelle for cooperation. It commands submission with presence and force. Human society merely dresses this primal law in suits and smiles, but underneath, the game is the same. If you want to escape the trap of the nice guy, you must learn to evoke this presence. Presence is your most potent weapon. It is the energy you radiate before a word is spoken. It is the unshakable conviction in your posture, your gaze, your silence. It is the promise of consequence beneath every breath. Those who possess presence can silence a room without raising their voice. Presence is forged in solitude and discipline. It requires that you become comfortable alone with your thoughts, your darkness. Most run from solitude because it forces them to confront their truths. But this confrontation is necessary. It is the furnace in which your power is tempered. Without it, you remain soft, uncertain, pliable. Many mistake charm for power. Charm is a mask, a tool of deception designed to win approval temporarily. But power is substance. It is the weight of your character and the reliability of your actions over time. Charm can get you through the door. Power keeps you inside the room. To build this power, you must cultivate self-reliance. Dependence on others. whether for validation, support, or love, is a leash disguised as a gift. The moment you depend on someone else for your emotional survival, you hand them your chains. True strength is found in independence, financial, emotional, intellectual. It is the ability to stand alone and remain unshaken. This is why detachment is crucial. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. It is the ability to observe without getting caught up, to love without losing yourself, to engage without surrendering. The detached man is free because he is no longer a slave to outcome. He acts not from need but from choice. In relationships, detachment is the difference between connection and entrapment. The nice man clings, hoping the other will stay, begging for reassurance, drowning in fear of loss. The powerful man loves freely, knowing that his value does not depend on another's presence. If they stay, it is because they choose to. If they leave, it is their loss, not his failure. This attitude permeates every interaction. When you are detached, your value rises exponentially. People sense your independence, they respect your boundaries. You no longer chase, no longer plead, no longer settle. You become the prize, not the supplicant. The art of detachment extends to your time and energy. Nice men give these away like candy, hoping to be liked. But time is your most precious resource. It is finite, non-renewable, and invisible to those who do not value it. Guard it fiercely, learn to say no without guilt. Withdraw your energy from those who drain without giving. You cannot be everything to everyone, you must be everything to yourself. This leads to an uncomfortable realization. Some people will resent your boundaries. They will mock your strength. They will challenge your detachment because it exposes their own weaknesses. Do not falter. Their discomfort is your confirmation. You are growing, evolving beyond their reach. In this struggle, patience becomes a weapon. Power is not chaos, it is order. It does not rush. It moves with deliberate steps, building momentum over time. The nice man wants instant validation, instant connection, instant results. The powerful man understands the value of slow accumulation, of quiet influence, of invisible strength. This patience creates mystery. People fear what they cannot understand. The man who reveals all is a book, open to be read and manipulated. The man who reveals little is a fortress, unassailable, unknowable. Mystery is power because it creates uncertainty, and uncertainty breeds respect, often fear. Power is also rooted in silence. In a world full of noise, words are cheap. The man who speaks little but means much commands attention. Silence forces others to fill the space, often revealing their true intentions. It is a strategic pause that unsettles and controls. Too often, nice men fill silence with excuses, justifications, and explanations. They apologize for their existence, hoping to ease tension or win favor. But every apology is a crack in the foundation of your authority. If you are wrong, own it quietly. If you are right, speak it plainly, then stop. True power holds its ground without explanation. It demands respect through action, not rhetoric. People respect deeds over words. They fear consequences over promises. Your silence can speak volumes if it carries the weight of inevitability. Another cornerstone of power is decisiveness. Indecision breeds doubt and invites manipulation. The man who cannot choose cannot lead. Nice men hesitate, overthink, second, guess. The powerful man moves swiftly, commits fully, and adapts without regret. Decisiveness projects confidence. Confidence commands respect. This decisiveness extends to confrontation. Avoiding conflict is a hallmark of the nice man. He fears discomfort, rejection, or loss. But avoiding conflict only emboldens disrespect and weakens your position. The powerful man confronts with calm authority. He does not provoke unnecessarily but will not shrink from defense. He understands that conflict, when managed, clarifies boundaries and enforces respect. Punishment, then, is a necessary tool, not cruelty, but consequence. The nice man fears punishment because he fears being disliked or alone. The powerful man understands that punishment is a language everyone understands. It is the price paid for crossing boundaries. Without consequences, boundaries mean nothing. Punishment must be unemotional, calculated, and swift. It is a surgical strike designed to reset the balance, not a venting of rage. Emotional punishment is weak. It invites retaliation or guilt. Strategic punishment commands compliance without drama. Sometimes the greatest punishment is absence. Removing yourself, your attention, your energy is a powerful statement. People who take you for granted learn quickly what they stand to lose. Absence creates space for reflection, for reassessment. It forces others to confront their own actions. Remember, the world does not reward your generosity with loyalty. It rewards strength with fear and respect. Loyalty is conditional. The man who demands loyalty understands this and never relies on it blindly. He invests only where return is guaranteed. He never offers his full self to those who won't match his value. This requires ruthless discernment. Not everyone deserves your trust or time. Nice men give endlessly, hoping for reciprocity. The powerful man guards his circle jealously. He surrounds himself with those who elevate, challenge, and honor him. He cuts ties cleanly with toxicity, knowing that peace is worth more than obligation. To walk this path, you must cultivate a mindset of abundance. Nice men operate from scarcity, fearing loss, clinging to what little they have. The powerful man knows there is always more opportunities, more allies, more power. This mindset liberates him from desperation and need. When you embrace abundance, rejection loses its sting. Betrayal becomes a lesson, not a death sentence. Failure is reframed as a step toward mastery. This resilience is the backbone of power, because it transforms adversity into fuel. Your mind is your greatest weapon. It is the forge of your reality. Nice men let their thoughts be hijacked by fear, doubt, and insecurity. The powerful man disciplines his mind relentlessly. He cultivates focus, clarity, and strategic thinking. He questions assumptions and masters his inner dialogue. This mental discipline creates emotional resilience. When storms come, as they inevitably will, you remain anchored. You do not crumble under pressure or bend to manipulation. You face adversity with calm calculation, finding solutions where others see obstacles. This mental strength extends to how you engage with the world. The powerful man understands influence. He knows that true influence is not about persuasion, but about creating inevitability. He aligns his actions, words, and presence to make his will unavoidable. Nice men try to please. Powerful men make others want to please them. This shift in dynamic is subtle but profound. It means you are no longer chasing validation but inspiring it. You become a force that others gravitate toward, not because of charm but because of undeniable strength. Power is not a destination, it is a process. It is a constant evolution of self. It demands vigilance, adaptation, and ruthless honesty. Every day presents a choice to remain a pawn or become the player. To become the player, you must embrace discomfort. Nice men avoid pain, seek comfort, and deny their shadows. The powerful man confronts his darkness head on. He uses pain as a teacher, discomfort as a forge, and shadow as a source of untapped strength. This transformation is not easy. It requires sacrifice. It demands loneliness. It calls for the death of old beliefs and the birth of new paradigms. But the reward is freedom. The freedom to live life on your own terms, unshackled by need or approval. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It is a path walked by those willing to stare into the abyss and find themselves unbroken. It is a path that leads not to comfort but to power, not to ease but to mastery, not to approval but to respect. When you embrace this path, you become a force of nature. You no longer seek validation because you embody value. You no longer chase affection because you radiate worth. You no longer fear loss because you possess abundance. This is the ultimate truth of power. It is not given, it is taken. Not earned by kindness alone, but commanded through strength, strategy, and detachment. Not maintained by emotion, but by control. If you can embody these principles, you will never be a victim again. You will be the architect of your fate, the master of your destiny. So I ask you again, are you ready to stop being nice? Are you ready to become powerful? If so, begin today. Stand firm in your boundaries. Speak with conviction, move with purpose, detach from need, command respect through your actions, because the world is waiting not for another nice guy, but for a man who understands the true nature of power.